Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect. Jumping right into it here. Standstill versus Miracles. Sounds like it could be a slow matchup, but these guys playing at an excellent pace here. Rodney firing off Brainstorm off his basic island, and he has a fetch land already. So best combo in Legacy assembled. He is going to optimize his hand here for the early game, and let's see where this goes. Matt, on the other hand, looking at basic planes, basic island, keeping it super basic. Back to basics could actually be a useful card for them to restrict some of what Rodney's looking to do, particularly the Mishra's Factories, which can chip away at the life total. And there we go. Speaking of Mishra's Factory, that is allowing for a standstill here. And Matt is firing off the standstill the AK in response to standstill, so not cracking it right away. Usually, standstill, you want to try and break it with a spell that doesn't really matter. AK for 1 is probably one of the best things you could break it with. You want to avoid allowing your opponent to convert some of their cards that they would be discarding into productive counter spells. You want them to kind of discard as many cards as possible, maybe even turning standstill into something that filters card quality instead of generates card advantage. And we see Rodney fetching out another basic island. It looks like he has a response to this AK for 2. He's going to hardcast Daze. So not bad there, picking up 3 off the standstill and doing a 1-for-1 trade that otherwise would have allowed Matt to kind of claw forward. So I feel like the advantage in Rodney's court right here. Monastery Mentor looks to change that rather quickly. Let's see if any of these cards he picked up can help him. And yes, Lightning Bolt clears Mentor. No responses, so no Monk token. That is just a clean sweep of Matt's board. Corporate Orb joins the fray here for Rodney. Now that is to combo with Dreadnoughts, basically turning them into 12/12s for just 1 mana. On the other side of that, it actually does hurt Matt's deck, though. He has at least the Snapcaster Mages and possibly Vendilion Click. We'll see if there's any other Enter the Battlefield triggers that he misses out on. Swords to Plowshares is clearing away that Mishra's Factory, and Rodney now at 5 mana, 1 Wasteland. Matt stuck at 3 lands, it looks like. Not ideal. Only 1 blue so far. And Brainstorm coming out here. We do see a couple of basic islands in his hand along with Jace, and I believe a back to basics. Back to basics would shut off the Wasteland and Scalding Tarn if he can, or Steam Vents if he can get it tapped. That is actually a Steam Vents instead of a Volcanic, so Rodney's list slightly budget here. He's been doing quite well, so we'll see what he can do to take care of some of those slightly suboptimal choices. Basic Island coming in. And hardcast Force of Will. So Jace answered 1-for-1, which is exactly the type of thing Standstill needs to be doing. Pull ahead and card advantage and just trade off, make it a war of attrition. And this whole time threatening to just summon a 12/12 for 1 mana. Matt's going to need to be very careful with his card selection. Brainstorm. Does he find a fetch land here? Finally get rid of some of the weaker cards in hand. And there it is, Arid Mesa. Very helpful for Matt here. And there's a True Name Nemesis. And Terminus on top. There's the Dreadnought, though. Back-to-back threats. Now Matt knows the top card of his library. He had put back a Terminus. During his upkeep, he's fetching. So it was not double Terminus. Very happy to put that Dreadnought on the bottom. And Wasteland hitting the Tundra. Drawing a card. And this looks like AK for 3, and it does resolve. Can still take a hit. At 15, does put him in bolt range. There's Preordain. Looked like both stayed on top. And Counterbalance. Let's see what happens here. Days on Counterbalance. Paying the 1. Starting things off by putting Matt down to 3. Oh, and 2, I guess there was a fetch in there as well. Matt gonna need to answer this Dreadnought and avoid getting burnt out. 4-mana Jace, that very well could do both. This could allow the Dreadnought to be bounced and just keep a bunch of 1-mana cards on top moving forward. If this Jace does activate, Matt very likely will be able to keep a couple of 1-drops on top of his deck for the rest of the game. That will stop Lightning Bolts and Dreadnoughts. And the card advantage from Jace could look to bury Rodney. Will Matt stabilize here? Down at 1 life. Fetching. Got a Wasteland. There's a Dreadnought. Trigger Counterbalance. He's going to Brainstorm, and there's a Bolt. Where was that Bolt earlier? And there's a Counterspell on top. So Rodney taking down game number 1. Super dicey there. If there was a 1-drop on top, Matt likely would have stabilized. That's just how it is now with the Counterbalance. Sensei's top was a heck of an enabler, and the card is a lot more fair now. Jace does combo with it extremely well, but it is a far cry from Sensei's Divining Top. See what Matt can do to pull out a game 2, force a game 3, and also manage to keep it under time. That is the real challenge for Miracles, losing game 1, making sure you have the time to win games 2 and 3. This is very much a deck building consideration. I believe he's on 3 mentors. Definitely close things out when you find them. The oldest builds of Miracles, sometimes only running Entreat the Angels and Jace as potential win conditions. I mean, those could go very, very long. Just trying to find a way to win. Accumulated Knowledge does speed that up, digging for 3 and 4, and potentially snapcastering those back. That is a lot of extra cards to see. I have yet to sleeve up the Accumulated Knowledge version of Miracles. I look forward to that at some point. I have been very busy with the new shop here. Been able to play occasionally on Wednesday nights, but we've been drawing quite well, and typically too busy to also play, especially with the filming here. Steam vents pinging for 2 on Rodney. That is no volcanic stuff. Even if you don't have a blue spell that you want to play off of it, you really need to let it come in untapped just to represent possibilities. Flooded Strand being cracked. And there's a Stifle. Ooh, forcing back. And Rodney, without hesitation, forces the force. Pitching Spell Snare. Wasteland. And here's a Standstill along with Mishra's Factory. Matt finds a second land. A couple of blue available to him here. And this is exactly what the deck is looking to do. He's going to be beating for 2 underneath the Standstill and firing off AK right away. 1, 2, 3 cards. And discarding a land to say go. So Matt cracking it during the end step with AK. About as good as you can do. He discarded 1 card. See if Rodney can chain these Standstills together. That's really where you want to be. And a Snapcaster Mage being flashed in response to the Standstill. Oh no, I see. That was very, very quick play. So it was Standstill, and then he swung the Mishra's Factory just into the Snapcaster, just fearlessly. Very interesting. I actually don't like that line at all. I think you're better off waiting until you find another Mishra's Factory, and then it can swing. Yeah, that doesn't seem to achieve very much to me. I'll be interested to talk to Rodney about his thought process there. Might just be from playing quickly. That is something he's definitely doing here. Spell Pierce. Definitely gonna work when your opponent only has 2 mana here. Tapped 1. Spell Pierce is a hard counter. Discarding Dreadnought end of turn because Rodney believes this True Name Nemesis is going to be enough to cross the finish line. Let's see if that's the case. Verifying life totals here. It looks like Matt's putting himself down to 12. And Monastery Mentor. And Daze just punishes the low land amount here. That Stifle proving to be very, very impactful on this game. There is a Delver. And we are looking at a 2-turn clock. 3 turns at most, even if Delver's handled. This is grim. Miracles is going to struggle from here with anything shy of a Terminus. Brainstorm for an answer to this Monastery Mentor. I don't know that it would be enough. Spell Snare, so we got a flip. And I think Rodney actually drew the Force of Will. And there's the Lightning Bolt taking it down. So Rodney had the force, recognized it wasn't necessary to stop that Mentor, and actually had backup for that lethal Lightning Bolt. So well played by Rodney there with this really interesting Standstill list. I look forward to seeing some more of it. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.